Good morning, evening, or afternoon, everybody. It's Kaghoe coming at you with another video. So today we are going to be covering the Phase 8 official patch notes for class changes. We split it between the two because I felt like that was a lot better instead of having just one massive 30-minute long video, and it allows me to take the time to dive into each class and talk about what I feel about these changes and how they were done. But without further ado, we're going to switch it over here and dive right into the class change patch notes. So it says, classes, going into Phase 8, we wanted to make some changes to damage numbers coming out of Naxxramas, refine and align the durability profile of tanks, and create more room for healers to coexist. You'll notice a lot of changes are to previous tier set bonus. We normally wouldn't touch these bonuses, but with access to these via shoulder enchants, some tier 3 bonuses, we're doing a lot of the heavy lifting for classes inside of Naxxramas. We felt like these were the correct adjustments to ensure that gear upgrades going forward remain meaningful. Druid. Developer notes, Rake's playstyle has been good in Naxxramas, but we want to open up more opportunities for Feral Druids to press more meaningful finishers. This phase, there's a push away from Rake and allow more ferocious bite as a key way to deal damage. With the Scarlet Enclave tier's emphasis on Tigrea's Fury, we're also making a change to allow players who want to shift to retain the buff. The King of the Jungle Rune now allows players to retain Tigrea's Fury buff when shifting into caster form. The Soul of the Frantic changed to 5%, increased shred damage was 15%. Soul of the Claw changed to 10% damage to Rake, or changed to 2% damage to Rake was 40%. Soul of the Claw changed to extend raid's duration by 3 seconds was 6. So these are the specific tier bonuses, as instead of saying like tier 2 4-piece, tier 2 2-piece, etc. So it's just Soul of the Claw, which is what they are on the shoulder enchants as well. Next, we have Hunter. The changes to Tier 3 are to improve synergy with Scarlet Enclave tier. The new ranged Tier 3 2-piece, formerly the 4-piece, felt like it created more fluid rotation without using lock and load, and we wanted to continue to offer these rotations while using Scarlet Enclave gear. Ranged Tier 3 4-piece changed to also reduce the cooldown of multi-shot by 3 seconds. Ranged Tier 3 2-piece and 4-piece bonuses have been swapped, so the 2-piece is now the cooldown reduction bonus. The Soul of the Bounty Hunter kill shot increase changed to 10% was 30. Lone Wolf changed to 25%, increased damage was 30%. Melee Specialist's runes chance to reset Raptor Strike changed to 40% was 30%. Raptor Strike offhand changed to be non-normalized like main hand was normalized. Pets now benefit from your haste stat, excluding quiver attack speed, which would be really funny. And then Biznix 24/7 by 128 Accuroscope now also grants your pet 3% hit. So that's huge. So they kind of nerfed Lone Wolf and kind of are letting your pets cook so hunters can actually use pets again. Mage, so I've talked a lot about this, but here we go. The DPS Tier 3 bonuses are extremely strong, but also not the most fun playstyles when it comes to pre-pull actions or mid-fight channeling. Originally, we had planned for the Scarlet Enclave tier to emphasize evocation to relieve some of the weaknesses like cooldown, channel time, pushback, but we decided it better to create more interesting rotations and choices around Balefire Bolt and Frozen Orb instead of dumping more power into an ability that you used once before a fight and then hoped no one canceled the pull timer. DPS Tier 3 2-piece evocation bonus changed from 1% per stack while outside of Naxxramas was 5%. This is still in... Oh, and still is inside of Naxxramas. That is amazing that it still gets the 5% inside of Nax. I was really worried about tomorrow's raid, so I didn't see that reflected in the tooltip anywhere, but if it is true, phenomenal. The DPS Tier 3 2-piece bonus mentioned above has swapped with the DPS Tier 3 4-piece, so the 2 and 4-piece now swap. The Soul of the Scorcher changed to 4% per effect, was 3, so Soul of the Torture buffed. Balefire Bolt changed to 30% damage per stack, was 20, so a 10% damage increase on Balefire. Deep Freeze now benefits from your Glaciate, from your stacks of Glaciate, but does not consume them. The Soul of the Cryomancer changed to 75% increased damage, was 65%. Developer note, being able to heal the entire raid for decent chunks every cast has proven to be fun, but only for the healing mage. Much like the shift in extremis away from priest shielding, we believe that healing mages are negating too many of the interesting parts other healers' moment-to-moment discretion making on who or where to heal. We wanted to lower the blanket healing mages provide, buff their single target healing, and make the Frost version of the spec an actual choice between the high damage versus high healing, and not the high damage, high healing that there was. So that's a pretty good thought. I never did healing or mage. It's way too complex for me to be able to raid lead stream and do it. It does look fun. It does provide a lot. Since we recruited healer mages into our raids, they've gotten so much better. Then we have the Soul of the Cryomancer. No longer increases the healing done by your Spellfrost Bolt to your temporal beacons. Mass regeneration changed to 12 seconds, was 6. Arcane Blast stacks no longer interact with your healing spells, meaning this means heals do not benefit from or consume Arcane Blast stacks. Regeneration changed to heal 30% more. Mass regeneration changed to heal 30% more. Chronostatic preservation changed to heal 10% more. Regeneration and mass regeneration now benefit from the caster's spell haste, which is awesome. Temporal beacons changed to heal for 70% of the arcane damage dealt, was 80%. Temporal beacons changed to heal yourself for 35% of the arcane damage dealt, was 40%. So mages don't heal themselves as much, but they will be healing a lot of other people. So if you're a healer mage, I would love to hear your thoughts, feedbacks down below. Tell me what you think of these. I don't really play it, so I don't really know, but it does seem like the logic is sound, and I kind of agree with what they're going with from what I know of it and what I have done with it. Next, we have Paladin, everybody's favorite class to talk about. Retribution Paladins have a lot of playstyles that we want to keep intact and as viable options, so the emphasis here was for us to bring down power while keeping styles intact. The only stylistic change is to the Ruins of AQ 3-piece bonus, which has always been intended as a means to give an offbeat one-handed Retribution Paladin a chance to play in the sand a little bit, and so restricting it back to one-handed weapons like the set itself intended. Soul of the Seal Bearer reduces seal damage by 35%, was 15%. Soul of the Justicar increases judgment damage by 5%, was 20%. Soul of the Justiciar now reduces judgment by 45%. New effect. That's pretty cool. Soul of the Retributor increases the damage of Crusader Strike by 150%, was 50%. So they're going to be doing a lot more damage with Crusader Strike. Retribution Tier 3 2-piece bonus now activates to be additive, was multiplicative. That's good. I like additive more than multiplicative. Sorry. It just causes it to be more consistent instead of just some insane bonuses you can reach. Soul of the Exile increases exorcism damage by 75%, was 50%. Righteous Vengeance Dot increased to 30% of the attack damage, was 50%. Improved Sanctuary changed to increase its damage dealt by 20% of your block value, was 30%. Soul of the Templar changed to require one-handed weapon, was any weapon. So that's really interesting to see what they're going to be doing with Paladin and all of those fun
Next,
things.
we're going to talk about Priests. So, developer notes, as Shadow Priests have gained damage in Season of Discovery, their healing has proven to scale up even quicker. We felt it was a better choice to lower the amount of space that Shadow Priests are taking up healing their group than to lower their damage aside from the adjustments to the Soul of the Mind Breaker, which also has a new portion to tackle some frustrations around spell queuing. Soul of the Mindbreaker changed to 25% increase in Mindflay damage, was 50%. Soul of the Mindbreaker's empowered Mindflay will now tick slightly faster than before to try to avoid players clipping it with spell queuing. Vampiric Embrace healing changed to 2%, was 5%. Improved Vampiric Touch changed to 1% per talent point, was 5% per talent point. So a significant reducement to Shadow Priest healing, which will be noticed because Shadow Priest healers do quite a ton of them, and they're very well loved in my raid, at least. But I think it's probably overall better for the game, so healers can actually heal and enjoy their job and do it right instead of just AFK most of the time, especially if you use like 5 or more healers. Next, we have rogues. So developer notes: rogues needed more damage. That's it. That's the note. Tank rogues need a way to stack up rolling with the punches while not taking, since it is a decent part of their durability if a tank swap is ever needed. Carnage damage changed to 15%, was 8%. Slaughter from the Shadows changed to 70% damage per backstab, and ambush was 60%. Mutilate changed to 95% of weapon damage, was 80%. Saber slash damage per stack changed to 50%, was 33%. Rolling with the punches changed to 5% health per stack, was 6%. Main Gachet parry buff duration changed to 5 seconds, was 10 seconds. Main Gachet Sinister Strike buff duration changed to 20 seconds, was 30 seconds. Main Gachet's Sinister Strike buff now casts Sinister Strike to grant stacks of rolling with the punches. So the final line probably should have been first, but they lowered the time, but it allows you to get that. So awesome. Hopefully that makes rogue tanks playable but not overpowered. We'll see. But pretty much every time they buff rogues, they end up reverting it or taking it away because they're too damn powerful. I like a rogue tank to just be a tank, so it works. I'm not opposed to it. I'm just opposed to it because it's been so broken. Honestly, if like we get a Classic Plus going forward, I honestly think you just need to make, if you want to keep the rogue tank, give it its own talent tree so it has a tank spec that it can actually use. Like we see with like Shamans almost have one, and then Paladins, you know, already get one. So like the new tank specs that really got into them already had like kind of the makings of a tank. Rogue tank didn't, so it kind of was just meh the entire time. But that's just my thoughts on it anyway. Next, we have everybody's second favorite class to talk about, Shamans. Pets benefiting from haste means that the burst of an enhancement shamans went up slightly, especially two-hand. So we wanted to bring that down slightly. Tank shamans' effective health pool between their armor and raw HP is a bit too high, so we're going to bring that down slightly. They should still have the best class health pool at the end of the day if they have the gear for it. Lava Lash damage increased from Flame Tongue weapon, changed to 150%, was 100%. Two-handed mastery changed to 45% attack speed, was 50% attack speed. Two-handed mastery changed to 10% attack power, was 15% attack power. So a little bit of nerf for the two-handed shaman. Health from Way of the Earth changed to 25%, was 30%. Soul of the True Alpha health increase changed to 5%, was 10%. Soul of the True Alpha damage increase change to 5%, was 10%. Soul of the True Alpha threat increase changed to 25%, was 20%. So the threat increase is getting buffed, but everything else is getting nerfed on the Alpha Beta buff. Elemental Shaman Tier 3 2-piece bonus changed to 40% Flame Shock periodic damage, was 20%. So they made Flame Shock tick 20% harder. Pets now benefit from your spell haste or melee haste, whichever is better, and converts into melee haste. So the Dogs of War are going to be crazy. Overall, it actually looks like Shamans got nerfed, so all you Paladin people and Alliance players that always cry about Shamans, this is a good post for you. Shamans more or less got nerfed pretty hard. Unless the Dogs of War just absolutely obliterate you, then I'm sure we'll hear about it. Next, we have Warlocks. In the opposite vein as Shaman tanks, Warlock tanks have had too high avoidance, too low durability, and this felt like most skills who used a Warlock main tank for something like Maxena during next progression. We shifted tank rogues away from avoidance cap in exchange for allowing them to actually take hits, and for Warlocks we plan to do the same thing by increasing their health pool in Metamorphosis, which was starting to look like it wouldn't be able to keep up with the health pools of other tanks. DPS tier 3 4-piece damage changed to 33% of the DOS damage, was 75%. Pets now benefit from your spell haste and convert it into both spell and melee haste. Metamorphosis now grants just 15% increased health. Dance of the Wicked now converts 70% of your critical strike chance into dodge, was 100%. damage dealt reduction in Metamorphosis changed to 10% reduction was 15. Threat increase in Metamorphosis changed to 50% was 77%. Shadow Cleave now grants 4 spell power per defense, up from 2. Chaos Bolt changed to deal chaos damage, which is fire, frost, arcane, shadow, and nature. It used to be just fire. So I think that's what Balefire does, and it's prismatic damage. So yeah, I wonder if it pierces immune things as well. That'd be pretty cool. Another way to deal with all these pesky paladins bubbling all the time. And then Demonic Pact now only counts as half of the spell power from Defender's Resolve, so it is unchanged and does not benefit from the above buff. Next we have Warriors. Developer notes, Warriors have been relying on using the active on Tempered Interference negating helmet from Nomergon to compete. We feel that is clunky and unintuitive to the average player, so we have removed it. So we've removed the ability to use the Nomergon helmets past 59 and offset that change for Warriors with 10% attack speed for two-handed weapons and 5% attack speed for one-handed weapons. Soul of the Titan damage increase. Heroic Strike Slam Overpower was changed to 10%, was 25. Soul of the Battle Forecaster changed to 5% crit, damage, and damage reduction while changing stances was 10%. So a little bit of nerfs there. Then Soul of the Sanguinist damage changed to 15%, was 20. Frenzied Assault attack speed changed to 40%, was 30. So there's 10% attack speed. Single-Minded Fury changed to 4% attack speed per stack, was 3%. And then the Soul of the Aftershock reduces the cooldown of Shockwave by 25%, was 50%. So a little less shockwaves. Then the Blade of Inquisition strength proc was 175. It is changed to 250, or is changed to 175, was 250, and the active on the helms can no longer be used by characters above level 59. So those are all the class changes. All in all, I think it was really good. We will do the people's thoughts in another video. Once again, talking about all this is already long enough, so I just want to go to the final thoughts and talk about a few more things. I do think that these changes were necessary to balance it around of a post-Nax Ramus raid, because when we're sitting there, we have immense power, and this is coming from a mage. It is nice that my tier set still will work in Nax, and Nax will feel the same, because I was really worried about that, but it does seem like it will get better. So anyway, I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say about all these class changes. I think all in all, it seems like they're in the right direction, but time will tell how they play out, if they're good. It always does feel bad seeing massive numbers and coming back down to reality, but for the Scarlet Enclave to be great, I think that was what was needed. So once again, time will certainly tell, and we shall see what it all looks like. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed it, and until next time, I'll see you later. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Hey you. Yes you. Are you still there? Well, I appreciate you for taking the time to watch this entire video and making it to the end here. If you enjoyed this video, definitely check out the other videos about World of Warcraft listed in these playlists down below. And thank you again. Have a great day. Bye-bye.